Evening everyone, this is the solution for day 11, so I hope you had fun playing around with this one. This one's quite a interesting component because both components are actually the same, the screw-through connection and the rigid. There's just a couple of minute differences of change. The 61.5, 62, and also the 20 has got a different depth, 15 rather than straight through. So let's have a look at this one then. So into AutoCAD, okay, open up a new drawing. This is one of what I did earlier. Okay, so into a new drawing, and again, make sure your construction layer going to come straight from my X line, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to come in. I'm going to make my first component. And it doesn't really matter which one you want to make, but I'm going to make the top one first. And I can manipulate this around afterwards. So 61.5 is the overall length, so offset 61.5. It's coming down there. It's quite a small little stumpy object, and it's by 25. So like so. Then we're going to come in and do this. Everything's from a reference from the right hand edge. It's 57.5. Everything's now coming from this edge. Remember, okay. So from right to left rather than the usual left to right. Escape space 45, so you're always reloading the command every single time. Then we have a 20. Okay, from that 20, and then 12.5, so that's going to come up to that point there. So we have 61.5, 57.5, 45, 12.5 from the 20. Okay, and that's all our length dimensions. So then we need to find the centre, so we've got obviously 25, so this is also going to be another 12.5, so we're going to come into the centre now, like so. From that centre then, we're going to take the 5 either side to do the 10, and then the 7.5 to do the 15. 5, so do the 10, and then escape space 7.5, which will do the 15. So just going to do a couple of random checks. Let's just check we've got the 15 in here. 15, we've got 10, 10, 15 over here somewhere, 15, yeah. 15, 10, 25, yeah, okay, that's cool. So, you're probably thinking, oh my god, how are you deciphering this big grid? But it's quite straightforward. So the actual big grid sits there, which is this component here. This is obviously that square component. Okay, but what normally I do is I start looking at the widest point. So we know it's 15. So 15 is this bit to this bit here. Okay, you can double check if you want. Might as well do it one dimensions. So just doing it once. Okay, it's 15. Obviously it snaps there, pain in the bum. Just move the snap out a little bit. So that's at 15, and we got that 10 element, so you can come in, have a rectangle, that 10 element, and then we got that kind of square element, which is the 45 to the 25, so this is going to actually be that component there. Just check that's 25, yes it is. So that'll be 25, which is, and then we got that last little bit, which is that final rectangle there. So literally just done it all with rectangles so far. We can check that that's then 10, which it should be. Then we're going to run some key dimensions, so 61.5. Okay, we're going to do the next one, which is 20. And 12.5, which is the centre. We also had that point to this point, which is 45. I think we have one more, which is 57.5. I'm just going to click that one and move it slightly up. So don't be afraid to move and play around with your dimensions, make it nice and clear. So you've got the 20. To circle them, and that requires a diameter. So I've basically done everything as I've gone along this time. Okay, so that's our overall shape. It's got all those components. You can come along with like getting annotation, putting your center mark. So a couple of things here is that the tenon, obviously, are linear dimensions, but if you double click, okay, go into the symbol, you can actually add in the diameter. Close, come in symbol, add the diameter. So you can actually make a linear component into a diameter. So, and it's got one more, which is the 25. Sometimes it will just snap to random places, depends on how much elements that you have of a snap and where it can snap to. So that's that section there. So that's sort of like the one component. Now we're on the XY. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my XY coordinates sort of down here. So actually move the 0, 0 point now. I'm going to draw another X line. 0, 0. Okay, I'm going to do all these ones in vision, my visiony blue colour. So what's one of the key dimensions I have to change? I've got to basically change that 61.5 to 62. So I need to basically do offset 62.5. Now I'm going to do it from the same base, make sure I don't cock it up. But it's that outer line there, which I'm now going to paint blue, and that's only 2 tweaks that I need to do. So I'm just going to do 25, which is the main outer diameter, and everything else should sit in that gap. So what I'm going to do is turn off my construction layer, turn off. I'm going to turn off my vision layer for a second. And I'm going to copy this component, so it's copy. I can choose a point, so I can choose a valid point. Let me just have my vision on what have I got, because I haven't got a centre mark, which would have been ideal. What I might actually do before then, I'll set 12.5, so I get that centre mark back, which is centre to centre. So what I can now do is copy, choose all my components, click the centre mark, move that down onto that centre mark, escape, and then all I've got to do is move that out, stretch it, then I've got to move that out there, now up to 62.5. So that's how I've made one component out having to draw it twice, just a couple of grid points and reselecting the old mark. So very, very, very easy. Okay, last off I can come into symbols and I can have a look at trying to get my depth. So if you go to other, okay, if you go into AIGDT on your drop down, it's actually here. Okay, so you can click on the depth, select, copy, come off, and you can come in, drop it down, Control V for paste, and then you want to put, I think it's 15, so it's just a depth of 15. That's my solid, so screw ridge connector. Like so, cancel that, turn off your dimensions, turn off your vision, come into dims, and all I got to do now is just put my two sort of single line text in. So capital screw through, yeah. So link on the points, try and keep it locked, screw through or screw rigid. And then obviously got to bring the connection down. Match on like so. And then we have the screw through, screw connection. Very simple way, draw it once, copy, manipulated it on the rectangle with the stretch. Use the dimension, kept the dimension live, added in the depth, which to be fair could just probably come down a bit more, stay nice and clear. And then we have a manipulated component to make two components. So output PDF, and the next one's also job done. So thanks for watching that one, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.